Hello all, how are you? So, this video is particularly to share my own experience with HCL. So, with HCL, this is mainly for the round number one. In a previous video, I have shared my experience with Big Four, Deloitte, EY, Capgemini, Cognizant. So, this video is in the same series. And let us jump to this now. This is for round one. Before I jump into the video, I would like to share a few points. So this interview Q&A discussion is purely based on my own experience. Always remember, same company, different project may have a different strategy to evaluate you for a Scrum Master role. And few answers may be based on my perspective and expectation differs from interviewer. In this video, we will be anyway discussing an appropriate way to answer each question. And I will be adding like few bonus tips also. Please do watch this video from start to end and provide your support for the channel. Okay. So first, round one HCL happened for 1 hour 10 minutes, and I will tell for a Scrum Master interview, this is one of the longest interview which I had. Because normally it gets completed in 30 minutes to 45 minutes on an average, but this was like for 1 hour 10 minutes. First, as usual, it started with self-intro and then questions on my prior roles, domains which I have worked from my resume. So what I did is I explained in short for each role, whatever I played and highlight. I just, this is a tip for you, but just highlight if you have any points in any particular prior role you want to highlight. So the first question started actually from list some of your responsibilities as a Scrum Master. See, this is to check what work you are exactly doing, whether you are playing a Scrum Master role alone or not, or whether do you have real experience of a Scrum Master. Check that particular question has been asked. So always remember, if you are not aware, please go and read the Scrum Guide clearly. There are 2 points, 2 accountability for a Scrum Master. One is establish Scrum as defined in Scrum Guide, and you are accountable for the Scrum team's effectiveness. That means the continuous improvement. So always have in mind and then like answer this question. As a Scrum Master, you need to teach or teach or coach the team, the product owner, and the stakeholders if required to achieve maximum value. And you should act as a change agent for the organization. And you should help remove the blocks or impediment in your project and assist the team and the product owner. You should protect the team from external disruption. Okay. These are some responsibilities. We have like even more good number of responsibilities as Scrum Master, but always stick to 5 to 6 points, which are the primary responsibilities as per your Scrum Master role. Next, what is your release cadence? See, this is a project specific answer you should be giving. That means what is the cadence you follow? That means how frequently you release your product in production. So it may be 2 sprints once, or it may be like even monthly once or 2 months once. So please be very clear about the release cadence. What is your role as a Scrum Master for each release? See, this also. There are some projects where Scrum Master will not have much role for a when it comes to release point. Okay, so project specific, you clearly answer this question. But in my project, I used to facilitate release planning with stakeholders and the team as needed. And then the sign-off process, for example, we need to have sign-off from different environments from stakeholders also before we are going in live. So that sign-off process also I'll be helping the team. And then we used to track in Jira for each release. For example, the Jira fix version they used to tell. If you want more details about how we are tracking a release in Jira, how that is one of the best practices I have ever. A separate video. And after this, that means in this video link, in this video comment section, I will tag the links to see these topics. For example, tracking, how you use to track in Jira. I will be sharing the link to you. If you're not aware or if you're not doing, please check that and make use of it. Next question was, what are the challenges you face as Scrum Master? See, this is a very frequently asked question. Take one or two good examples as in your project, like challenge, whatever you faced. Explain the root cause and how it was resolved in real time. So be genuine about this because the question may be asked based upon this answer. So I'm leaving it to you people to come up with an answer. Next question. What is the team size you have handled earlier? So just be very clear. If you handle single team or multiple teams, so what is the size, how many QA, how many dev, these details you should be clearly mentioned. Next, which technology you use to build your application? See, in my previous video also, that means I think in my Deloitte or Cognizant, I'm not sure. The same question was asked. So this is a project specific question. This is to make, this is to understand whether you have technical awareness or not. So there may be few Scrum Masters who may not be knowing how your application is being built. That means whether Java or .NET, how. So you should be very clear about at least the technical awareness is needed. So that's why this question was asked. How did you transition from Scrum to SAFe? See, this is also, since I have experience in SAFe, this question was asked. So I mentioned with my personal experience, so art level and team level, how we transitioned from Scrum to SAFe. So client-specific requirement we understood, and then like we started with the transition from knowledge perspective. That means people might have a good understanding in Scrum, but no understanding in SAFe. So from how we can coach the team, I started explaining. So if you haven't used SAFe or if you have no experience SAFe, I think like this question may not be relevant to you. This is also a SAFe question. Before PA planning, how will you plan your work? See, before PA planning, pre-PA planning meeting will be happening in the last sprint of the PI. And we used to do a capacity planning and dependencies identified and discussion on the deliverables which is planned for the upcoming PA. So that is the answer I gave. How will you do capacity planning? See, this capacity planning, normally we used to do it in a template, right? So in sprint planning, the first part is capacity planning. I used to also allocate a buffer capacity for each sprint. So sprint level, how you are doing capacity planning, you should explain very clearly what are the factors you will be considering. Also, you should be very clearly mentioned. Next, what are the Scrum ceremonies you conduct? In my previous EY video also, I have explained the answer for this. So explain, just mention, list down all the 5 ceremonies, including sprint. And 6th, mention as PBR. Okay, and sprint calendar, you should be explaining clearly. You can refer to my previous videos for this answer. When will you estimate stories, PBR or plan? It's a little bit tricky question. Actually speaking, in PBR, most of the stories will be refining. So primary is PBR. And if there are any new stories planned, and in planning also, we may estimate few stories. But in PBR, we used to ensure that 70 to 80% of stories are ready for the next sprint. So you should be very clearly mentioning about the sprint calendar here. Next, when and how do you manage risk? Explain with example. See, this question, I think same I explained in another interview also. So frequently asked question. Risk management is one part like where it is lagging. So that's why this question is being asked. Actually speaking, anytime we can manage risk. And the most ideal place is daily stand-up. Daily scrum call. Also, you are doing risk management indirectly. We are inspecting and adapting, right? And formally speaking, we used to do it in a quarterly planning in a quarterly level. So I follow a room approach. And then I used to provide the transparency to the stakeholders. What is the impact for each risk? Because that if the transparency is there, customer satisfaction will increase slowly day by day. They will have trust on you. So take a clear example and explain. From your real-time experience, if you are in doing any risk management, particularly like in quarterly planning or anything, be transparent. And you can explain the first part of my answer. That means anytime we can do risk management. Some teams even use risk register for tracking your risk. So it's up to you how you are handling this answer. Next, what estimation technique you use in your project? See, planning focus for stories, teacher facing for epic. Same question in my Deloitte, both the rounds they asked. So for planning trigger, like I have posted a small video and I would share that video link in comment. What is the maximum story point you give for a story? So this is also project specific question. So in my project, I used to have like 5 story point as a maximum because we used to do estimation in that. But some projects follow 8 also. So it's up to you people. Project specifically, please answer this question. How many developers in QA in your team? See, this is also based upon your real experience mentioned. That means in your previous team, how many developers, how many QA you have. Are you doing automation in your project? This also depends. If you're doing automation, yes, we are doing, but please be cautious. They may ask a follow-up question, which tool you are using. So be clear about it. Before release, what are the different levels of testing you do? So testing, this is also like in my project, we used to do integration testing. Then end-to-end followed by regression testing. And then a UAT sign-off will be UI testing will be done separately from client side, and then UAT sign-off will be done. So as a Scrum Master, you should be clear about the process being followed. Please answer in the same way according to your project. How do you track the progress of sprint? See, you can progress this. You can track the progress of sprint from Jira. Simple, using sprint burndown chart, epic burndown chart, release burndown chart. Okay, so release burndown chart, sprint burndown chart, these things like I have explained in separate video, which I will tag in the comment section. So please go through that. So which tool do you use for metrics tracking? See, this is also same. The project management tool they are expecting. So Jira, mention all the tools like whichever you're using, because some may use Power BI or any other tools also. So please be very clear about what are the tools you're using and highlight the tool which you are very confident so that they may ask like how you are tracking. Have you, since I mentioned Jira, the follow-up question came from Jira, have you used JQL? What is the use of JQL? So for JQL, JQL stands for Jira Query Language. I have posted a separate video and which will be useful for you. What is the JQL to have an understanding? So you be clear with your project experience. Tell whether you have used Jira or JQL. Okay. So what is the use of filters in Jira? See, mainly I first tell like in Jira, what is the feature? That means the filter feature, filter option. What is the use of that? So mainly I use JQL for creating filters, okay, based on issue type. So we can easily track and generate report using filters. Okay, so quote a real-time example so that may make your answer even more better. What metrics you showcase to your stakeholders? Story point completion ratio, which is SPCR, then velocity forecast, that means the velocity chart, how fast we are progressing, and the sprint report, which will have all the details like epic burndown chart. So sprint report also, I have shared a separate video. So please have a look on those videos. Okay, sprint report, it will be definitely useful for you. If your team is unable to deliver committed story point in sprint, what will be your action plan? So this is a scenario-based question. First, it depends. See, first of all, this answer, that means the action plan depends on the story point not completed. For example, you are complete, that means if the team is able to complete 75%, 25% they're not able to complete, then your action plan will be a little different. So always remember that should be the first disclaimer you should put. And then you should tell you will be discussing it in retro if it is required. And then help the team to understand what is the bottleneck they face, and then you will be helping with them in future. If needed, you will be also coming with an agreement with the team, like an SLA kind of thing, how we can improve the delivery part. Next, what are the qualities of a good Scrum Master? So this also I have posted a separate video. So please go through that. I will tag here in comment section. So these are some qualities of a good Scrum Master. And also I have discussed in my previous two interview question. Also I have clearly explained about this qualities of a good Scrum Master. Next, how do you motivate your team? See, motivating your team, I would tell it is one of the responsibilities for a Scrum Master. First, appreciate the team whenever possible in a retro, and encourage the team whenever possible. You should appreciate the team, and retro is the best place to do it. Encourage the team to experiment new things, and then give rewards and recognition to the good performers that can motivate and bring a growth mindset for the entire team instead of a silo mindset. Slowly that will come. So that is also one of the aim of Agile. So you should be very clear about it. Next question, what are the difference between Agile and Waterfall? So for this also, please have 4 difference in mind. I have posted a separate video. Okay. So just go through that. There may be many points. Just one point if I want to tell. See, Agile is a incremental and iterative process, right? And whereas Waterfall is a top to bottom sequential approach. And here the faster delivery we can expect from Agile. Waterfall, like we will be it's a long-term project. So there are like very good examples I would have quoted in the separate video. So I don't want the same to be repeated here in consideration of time. So please go through that video, which I'll be tagging in the comment section. Next. General questions related to notice period, chance for negotiation. So whether my notice period is negotiable. Next round feasibility in weekend. So they plan to keep the next round in a weekend, and they asked an acceptance, and it was fine. So on the whole, if you're seeing the interviewer expectation, that means it happened for 1 or 10 minutes, and most of the questions were from Scrum events, tracking, then testing related question. And the interviewer want to check the project specific real-time knowledge. Let's say from release planning, even testing also, some questions are asked. So I hope this video is useful for you. I will post in the second round also. So please watch and provide your support and share to everybody. Thank you, folks. All the very best.